So here's the big news of the day. And this is the big news of the day. And this is the I told you so. Because I've been saying this for like 10 years that this was going to happen because of just absolute overreach, basically. That there was absolute overreach going on and that this was an inevitability.
The House passes a bill to ban transgender surgeries.
Men are men.
Asmongold.
Men can never become women. Women are women.
Also, by the way, Asmongold's been PvPing a little bit on X. It's kind of interesting to watch.
Women can never become men.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
You know, the funny thing is, this is the funny thing about language, guys. All right. Let me explain something really funny. So let's say we lived in a world, hypothetically. I know I just lost 80% of people by saying the word hypothetically, but for the rest of the 20%, let's hang in there, all right? Hypothetically, if you were able to create a way to switch bodies, so like where a trans person could like completely 100% switch to being like from woman to man. Okay, let's say hypothetically we had like a mind transfer, like Ghost in the Shell sort of fucking technology, right? Here's the funny thing. You would still need language to describe that, correct? You would still need some way to describe that the person was born a certain way, right? So it doesn't even matter, even in that case. And again, this doesn't have to do with hatred. This doesn't have to do with discrimination, hatred, or any sort of this. All it has to do is with describing reality. Describing reality is the important part, right? How could we convey to each other that a person was born a certain way? How could you convey that if we fuck up the language? Right, and again, it has nothing to do with hatred. Like, I'm not saying that trans people should be treated poorly. I'm just saying that we have to have a way to describe that, and even that would piss people off. Right, it would piss people off completely. Well, at least hypothetical isn't. Well, what do you mean it's not? What do you mean hypothetical? My hypothetical is what do you mean? So my point in this is that no matter what, like, no matter how far, like, science goes, even if you could, listen, even if you had the capability of building a time machine and intercepting yourself while you're in the womb and then changing things that way, there is literally no way, there's literally no way to get around the fact that you had to intervene in some way. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say? Like, no matter what, it won't be the same. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is that at some point, you have to come to terms with the fact that it's different. Do you understand my point here? Words to describe historical events, yes. And if the idea that you have to be literally the same as a biological woman in every way, perception-wise to everybody else, you're just fucked because you're fighting a hard wall against reality. That's all it is, basically. If we had the ability to genetically modify the human body down to every cell and every strand of DNA, I think that only at that point transgender would be completely possible. Well, even then, my point is 3B for me. That's a good point, but my point is that even then, you would need language to describe a person that does that. Do you get what I mean? So, like, it would still be different. Even on, like, a historical level, it would be different, correct? So, like, this quest to attain like literally the same state as a biological woman, like a born biological woman, is impossible. It's what I'm saying. To achieve 100% the same state, not only in reality but also in perception, is impossible. That's my point. And I think it's perfectly reasonable. Like if you think I'm just telling the truth, I'm not like hating on anybody. It's just, all I'm saying is like, yo, you need to just fucking come to terms yourself, right? Like you need to come to terms with you need to come to terms yourself at the reality, and then by then you will achieve happiness. That's my point. Is that if your happiness is based on fighting directly against reality, you're literally fighting a street sign. You're literally fighting a mountain at that point. You're just punching rock, and it's not going to go anywhere good for you. That's my point.
Children are innocent.
1 +
and
1.
They need our protection.
This is a huge omega W. Mega W. The only thing that's an L is the fact that 211 retards voted against this.
Four
and
Republicans.
I'm going to be real. This should have been...
Dude, the Republicans had more fucking rats than the Democrats. Shit.
Hey, what's the total here?
Let me guess. Those Republicans are from like New York, Oregon, Washington, California. I'm gonna guess that they're from those
127 to 0. Like, no, not a single person should have been voting in favor of kids having transgender surgeries or medical intervention to change their gender.
Fire the people that voted against it. On this vote, the yeas are 210, the nays are 218. The motion is not adopted.
Oh.
The question is on passage of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no.
Oh.
In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
I love how nobody's even paying attention
For what
to him.
purposes the gentlewoman from Vermont seek recognition?
What do you want?
I ask for the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise.
Do you think they're actually voting for transgender child surgery, or are they voting against some of the pork? It's impossible to know. And I think this is the reason why having these bills, these like massive bills where it's like, yeah, in this bill, so there's a thing about Israel gets $5 billion. We're going to bomb a country in Africa. We haven't decided which one. That's a surprise.
That stuff's annoying.
And then also children, there's going to be cancer research for kids. So if you vote against this, you want kids with cancer to die. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, really, it's so outrageous. Like, I mean, just think about this for 2 seconds. It's so stupid.
A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device.
Research.
This is a 5-minute vote.
Yeah, why haven't we ever voted to give kids cancer? Yeah, why not? Like, there's never anything for that ever.
Didn't we do that with COVID?
Oh wait, yeah, there is. It's how much kids, how much like soda and like fucking like random ass fucking McDonald's they eat, right?
I was just joking, by
Okay,
the
well,
way.
let's
I don't
see.
know.
This is all right.
It's a joke. It's just
This
a
is the
joke.
very end. Okay.
Jimmy Tickle Facey, thank you so much. Thank you for the kicks. Thank you. Thank you. New York, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Utah. Those are the rats. Damn. Damn, I actually got them all wrong except for one. New York. Damn. That's surprising. Not really that surprising, but I mean.
We have memes in Fortnite for that? That's true. We'll skip ahead a little bit.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that when the House adjourns today, it adjourns to meet at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Without objection.
Okay. So there's not really a lot more information about this. I was hoping there'd be more people discussing this, but yeah.
Dude, how mad? Dude, people must be fucking blowing up on X right now in Blue Sky. I didn't even have time to like really look at X this morning. Only a little bit. I was able to look at like maybe 8 posts because I like just scroll down 8 posts because I had to I had to take a dump, so I was doing that. I didn't actually like go through it that hard.
I'll see if there's anybody talking about this. No, not really. Well, anyway, so this is kind of what's happened. And
Oh, yo, Brotherhood of Steel, man. Thank you for the kicks as well, man. Thank you. The old lady looks like no capes having ass from the Incredibles.
I'm very glad to see
Holy
this.
shit.
Obviously, new gender reaffirming restrictions. This is a very long
That's
video,
crazy.
but I'll go back and look at a few more updates
That's
on
so
this. So
crazy.
this is amazing, right? And then here we go.
I'm excited to announce that my bill, Protect Children's Innocence Act, that criminalizes gender-affirming care
Thank
on
God.
any minor under the age of 18, has passed the House of Representatives.
Thank fucking God. Oh my God. This is the most, like, the fact that this is even a conversation point is insane to me. It's absolutely insane.
So I would also like to thank 3 Democrats that voted to
Well, I'll tell you the reason why. The reason behind it, okay, guys, is, and this is the irony. This is the funny thing about this entire thing, guys. I gotta tell you, this is how illogical this entire thing is, okay? So the reason why they want to do this, okay, there's 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons in my opinion. One of the reasons is that there are trans people, there are trans adults, right? And those trans adults, they understand that the puberty has affected them, correct? Because, you know, they went through, you know, quote unquote, the wrong puberty according to them. And then they are upset at that. And so they're like, well, we don't want that to happen to the kids that are trans. That's kind of their angle. That's like, I'm taking it in the most good faith way possible. And the funny thing about that is they'll simultaneously say that, well, we need to prevent the puberty from happening because it will mess them up for life. They'll say that and at the same time say it's reversible. Like, and that's the funny thing about it. Saying trans adults implies the existence of trans kids. Well, I think that there are kids that will be trans when they grow up, yeah. The reason why I don't really believe in trans kids is because there's no way to know. It's a fucking Schrodinger's box. Again, the reason why, Julio, like, I know you're just being an asshole, but the reason why is because kids can't make their own decisions about life-altering things. We've already established this. This is in our laws. This is in our laws. This is in our morality. This is in our culture that they can't do that, which is the reason why kids can't have sex with adults. It's the reason why kids can't drive, they can't vote, they can't join the military. There's all of these reasons, right? Anyway, so the point is they can't make those decisions. So how could they possibly make the decision that especially at such a young age, like some people are doing this at 6 years old, 8 years old. Like how could they do that, right? How could they make that decision? It doesn't make it, they can't even get like a tattoo. So like, what are we even talking about, right? Anyway. Guys, I just want to point out, by the way, this Julio guy has been bitching at me about taking too long to make videos, and look at him derailing the conversation. You see this shit, chat? Like, do you see this shit? Man, absolute freaking crackhead over here. But yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying is that's why, because you can't know the state. It's a fucking Schrodinger's box, mate. It's a Schrodinger's box where you could make a big mistake and then completely mutilate a kid for life when that wasn't actually what they wanted. They just didn't know because they're stupid. That's the point. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about now after Julio fucking derailed me. I don't even know. What was I talking about, chat? Oh, right. The reason why is because the reason why they trans adults want this is because they think about when they were a kid and they think about wanting it when they were a kid. And that's why. But again, the funny thing is, they'll say at the same time that it's completely reversible But if it was completely reversible, then why are you saying it was really bad when you were a kid and that this thing happened? I mean, the thing is, guys, everybody knows it's not reversible. Even they know it's not reversible. Like how could they possibly think that it's not reversible? How can they possibly think that it is reversible? That's kind of a good point. It is a good point, isn't it? It just doesn't make any logical sense. And anyway, I do think that there will be kids that will grow up and they will have there are kids that probably have gender dysphoria. They'll grow up and then they'll still have it, but we don't know that, and that's the point. Is you don't know what the answer is. And I think that the other reason, right, to go into like reason 2, if I were to be a little bit more nefarious, like if I were to consider a little bit more of a nefarious purpose, a nefarious plan rather, it would be to increase the amount of trans kids. That would be the other reason. I don't know. Again, that's an issue of motive. It's an issue of mind reading. I can't read minds, so it's kind of hard for me to tell if that's actually the reason for some of this. I don't know. Anyway, has anyone ever dealt with living in a haunted house with ghosts? Yes, I have. 100%.
Protect kids. Quaylar, Davis, and Gonzalez, thank you so much for protecting children. Unfortunately, there were 4 Republicans
who
that voted no and refused to protect kids.
Who does
Those
it be?
Republicans
and you're not elaborating? No, because I'm watching a video about trans stuff. I'm not about to go on a 1-hour tangent about ghosts.
Evans from Colorado, Fitzpatrick, Kennedy of Utah, and Mike Lawler from New York.
What an idiot.
I don't know why they can't protect kids, but that's too bad. But I'm still excited my bill passed, and it goes to the Senate next. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank fucking God. I am so happy about this. And I think this is a transgender congresswoman. Let me listen to this.
I get it's hard to understand what it feels like to be trans. I get that it is hard to understand what it feels like to be me. I get that it's hard to understand this care and understand the need for it.
See, this is the issue. This is all like emotional manipulation. You know, you don't understand me. How could you possibly? This is what it is. You're not trans, so you don't understand what it's like to be trans. Shut the fuck up. That's basically the entire argument. This is their argument. I'm trans. You don't understand what that feels like. It feels very bad. And if you are against anything that you don't know, you don't understand how I feel, but you're trying to legislate that, then you're an asshole. That's basically the whole argument.
But one of the things that gets so lost in this...
You're saying ghosts are real? I don't know about ghosts, but spirits are real. For sure. Yes.
It's
whether that's like an evil spirit or like a demon, I don't know. It's something. Yeah.
I feel like this is so easy. Just don't do it to kids. The bar's on the floor. But nobody cares if you're transgender. Be transgender all you want. But you can't go and do this to kids.
Yep.
Conversation.
Holy fuck.
Is that the transgender adults of today were kids once.
Okay.
I was a kid once. I didn't have the courage
I didn't know
to come out until I was 21. But it's a fact I have known about myself for my entire life.
I'm sure for some of them that's true, and for some of them it's not true. I bet there are kids that if they could have gotten a tattoo whenever they were 12, whenever they were 50, they wouldn't have regretted the tattoo. But that doesn't mean you let 12-year-olds get tattoos, because some of them wouldn't have regretted it.
Dude, oh my God, guys, can you fucking imagine that? Like some kid, and the kid is like, hold up. The kid, can you imagine like the kid, and the kid's like, you know, I don't care what my parents say. I can do what I want because I can make my own decisions. Gets a fucking tattoo of like Danny Phantom, like a big ass fucking Danny Phantom on his arm. And then I was like 30 years old with a Danny Phantom. Like, bro, that'd be so funny, actually. I'm based.
Don't want to let kids make irreversible decisions for the rest
Daddy,
of their life because some
it
of them
goes hard.
might get it wrong.
Oh, dude, imagine if they were a leftist and they got Johnny Bravo. If they were a leftist, they got a big ass fucking Johnny Bravo tattoo on their arm, and then they try to work in Hollywood, and everyone sees the Johnny Bravo on the arm.
This is so obvious.
I didn't have the courage to come.
See it like if I could have gotten, like, what would I have gotten if if I was a kid and I could get tattoos, what would I have gotten? Oh God, I would have got fuck. You know what I would have gotten? Like to be honest, I probably would have gotten like some bullshit like the fucking fire alchemy fucking thing on the back. I probably would have done some shit like that. To be honest, like the fucking what's her name? Hawkeye, fucking Roy Mustang shit on my back. Yeah, I would have got some shit like that. Totally. Or maybe like the Moonanites or something. I don't know. It would have been really retarded, to be honest. What else would I have gotten? Yeah, I don't know.
Out until I was 21.
You get the homunculus seal? Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Project's fucking retarded. It's completely fucking retarded.
And that means 21 years of pain.
Oh, how about the deconstruction alchemy thing on the arm that Scar has? Yeah, you can get something like that.
21 years of unwavering homesickness that only went away when I was able to get the care that I needed.
Yeah.
And my biggest regret in life is that I never had a childhood without that pain.
Good Arvo.
Yeah.
Sickness that only went away when I was able to get the care that I needed.
Yeah.
And my biggest regret in life.
Yo, thanks OR Arms for the bits. Not sure why the thought of a kid saying they want to be like the Hulk and then get them pumping full of growth hormones and steroids to make them 7 feet tall and 300 pounds of muscle sounds equally as fucked up as putting them on HRT and surgery. Sure. I mean, yeah. It doesn't make sense to me to let kids make life-altering decisions, right?
Is that I never had a childhood without that pain.
So, because you had a bad experience as a kid, now every kid has to get kids have to get trans.
Yeah, and the thing is like, let's. So if we're gonna use like a anecdote of, well, if you're gonna use an anecdote like, well, I was trans and like my life sucked because of it because I didn't get to have it. Well, what about all the detransitioners in which it did happen to them and then they grew up regretting it and now they're permanently fucked for life? What about that? Right? So you're using like an anecdote against another anecdote, and it's kind of, I think more people will be sympathetic towards the other.
Gender surgery operations, that's too bad. That's too bad. Not everything's going to be perfect. We can't let parents and children decide to change their gender when they're 12 years old.
In some cases, I mean, what we saw before, that they're doing this at like 6 years old, 8 years old, like even younger than that, right? Like you had that one with the baby, like the trans baby. You guys remember like the freaking 6-year-old trans baby? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
This is crazy. And
Absolutely.
also, there's plenty of
Steven
people,
Hero, thank you.
By the way, there are people
a
that...
year of the least racist VTuber? I mean, it's true. I actually think I am the least racist VTuber, like, to be honest. Like, I actually think it's 100% true.
Transition, and then they detransition.
Yeah.
It's not like being trans is like a uniform thing that nobody ever regrets. There's a lot of people that have regretted going on puberty blockers, getting sex change operations. So to act like this is some kind of universal reality that every trans person goes through is just disproven instantly by just looking on the internet and reading interviews. That's it. It's right. This is so ridiculous.
I marvel at the courage of transgender young people today.
See, and you can see how they're changing the language. They're shifting the vocabulary.
Yep.
Because they don't want to say transgender children because they know it sounds fucking disgusting. And people know that. And
they
so
should
they're
say transgender babies.
Using young people instead of children, or instead of teenagers, or instead of, kids. They're using young people because young people could mean 19, it could mean 7, it could mean 12, it could mean anything. So you're intentionally using language to obfuscate a point. And I think that, again, this is what I've always said before, is that the moment that a person uses language to hide their intentions, it's because they know they have bad intentions. They know what they're doing is wrong, and at the very least, they want to mislead you and make you believe something that's not true. They want you to think that whenever they say young people, they're referring to 18 to 21-year-olds. But the fact is, they're actually talking about 8 to fucking 12-year-olds. They're lying. Yes, they're intentionally trying to mislead you and make you think something different. Mm-hmm. It's a lie. There's a top post on Trans Today talking about how someone tried to groom someone else's kid by calling them female pronouns and applying makeup to someone else's child.
The fuck?
I don't know why. I don't know why everybody has to be so weird about this.
Yep.
If you want to transition as an adult and go through all of that process, I think most people are willing to play along with that and not really give a fuck. Not everybody, but a lot of people probably don't care that much because people have bigger problems in their life than whether you're wearing a dress or a suit jacket, right?
That's basically
it doesn't really
my
make a
stance on
difference.
it.
But
I mean, it's basically my stance on it too.
The big problem is that whenever you're trying to put this ideology on kids and you're trying to think about, well, this is the way it was for me. I was like this as a kid, so now I have to make sure that every other kid goes through the same experience. It's in a way selfish.
Who are sharing themselves with their families and this world, despite the toxicity and the hate that too often emanates from the building behind me and from politicians within it.
This is the problem, and this is the reason why I think that the trans community has been losing a lot of support, is because
because a lot of it is them trying to force you to like them. It's trying to force their perception of how you should perceive them. It's weird. They want you to perceive them in a very specific way, and if you don't, then they get very upset about it.
Haven't been able to actively and I think correctly remove people that are trying to basically gender transition children out of their community and out of their movement. And I think to the extent that you have people inside of the LGBT movement and inside of the transgender community that view it as a good thing or something that should happen, that children are transitioned, I think that you will always continue losing support, and all support for trans and also LGBT to a greater extent will be receding. And I think that's already happened, like with gay marriage. I don't think that a lot, actually, so here's the truth. I think that a lot of trans people live in absolute hell. Imagine, so this is a weird thing, but I can empathize with trans people to the best degree that I think a person who's not trans could empathize with trans people. I remember when I would break a tooth or something like that, and I looked in the mirror and I smiled, and
it's really easy to understand. At least for me, it's like Tobias from Animorphs. I read Animorphs. It's like Tobias. Yeah.
I saw what I looked like.
Thanks for the follow,
and I absolutely hated myself for it because I didn't look the way that I imagined that I should look. There was a dissonance between the way that I saw myself and the way that I was.
No, not really Ranma, because Ranma can turn back. So
not really.
Bothered
me a tremendous amount. And so when I hear a trans person talking about the way that they feel, I think about the way that I felt that way, and I think to myself, okay, I bet they feel that way about their whole fucking body. They're living in hell. I don't want to make it any harder for an average everyday trans person. And you can go back 15 years of content that I've made. I have never, ever, even whenever it's popular to do, when it was completely okay, 2010, was I going around making trans jokes then? I never was, because I don't have a problem with it. But whenever you're talking about kids and involving children in this, this is a totally different fucking paradigm. And I understand that, yes, this is the way that you felt whenever you were a kid, but has it ever occurred to you that other people had different experiences that were not the same as yours? And that's it. And so do you guys see kind of what I mean about this? Because I see that, like,
it's kind of funny because it's like this. It's like a lot of the times the trans people go, well, you don't understand me because you're not trans. I'm like, yeah, well, you don't understand other people either. You know, like you only understand your own like point of view. Oh, it's like,
this is hate. It's hate.
It's funny.
No, it's not. It's common sense. Like it's not. There's nothing evil about this. Nothing transphobic about this. These are children. You should allow
it's not
children.
Really necessarily narcissism. It's just it's hard for people to understand each other's experiences, obviously, right? But like to use it as a point to be like you should give me what I want because you don't understand this situation. I mean, think of it. You can think of it in so many ways. That logic doesn't hold up at all. You don't understand how I feel, therefore you can't make rules about it. It's dumb.
And to go through, and also there are plenty of kids that feel dysphoric about their gender, and then they get older and they get more accustomed to it. Like the entire idea, and this is what's so very annoying to me about this, is that, I'm sorry, this is a 1 minute video and I'm mauling out about it, but like everybody says gender is a spectrum, it's a spectrum. If it's such a spectrum, then if gender is such a massive spectrum, then why do you treat every kid that's dysphoric about their gender as trans?
It's true.
You could be a tomboy, you could be a femboy, you could be a crossdresser, you could be a drag queen, you could be, just a metrosexual, kind of guy. You could be like Jeffree Star. You could be like James Charles. You could be all of these other people on the gender spectrum, but you don't have to necessarily be trans.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's at the very, very edge of the other line. You see what I'm saying? It's so fucking annoying for me to see this.
Same.
And so, and my point is that, like, so where I was coming from is that the reason why I think a lot of trans people don't speak out against this is because they don't want to be seen as traitors to their own group. But I bet a lot of them realize what's happening here, and they think it's bad too. I think they do. I'm not saying
I can tell you 100% for a fact. I know people that have said this.
All of them. I can't speak for all of them, but I know for a fact more of them do than speak out against it. That's a fact. And the problem is that they're afraid to do that because now when you stand in the middle of the road,
it's not only that. The other problem, there's another problem here. The problem is that the trans people that just want to live their lives, they don't want to fucking talk about this shit. They don't even want to talk about it. So it's like you'll have these trans people that are kind of they're outside of this now. So they don't want anything to do with it. They don't want anything to do with like talking about this kind of shit. So then you never get to hear from them.
You're getting hit. You
only get to hear from the people that are obsessed with being trans. To be honest, those are the only trans people that you hear from because they never get over being trans. It's just being trans is their entire fucking identity. Right, and that's what you're exposed to.
Both sides. So you've got people that are calling you a man or a woman, whatever your gender that you transitioned away from. They're trying to dead name you and calling you a fucking an abomination and saying that you're like a mentally ill man, like trying to insult you in however way they can. So you still have those people that hate you, and you've also lost your support group of the people that are on your side.
This is what I said yesterday. So many people were the support. They were on the side of like, and obviously there's people were always against it, but there's a non-insignificant amount of people that were like, I don't really care. You live your life however you want. And, I'll respect you for that, whatever you want to do. I just don't want to be involved in it. You have those people who are now like, you know what? Actually, fuck all of these people. There's so many people that they're like, I don't actually care. You live your life however you want. And then all this happened. Yeah, actually, I hate you guys now. It's happened it's happened to so many people. I've seen, you see it all the time. I've had actual people that I know make this shift. And I've seen it in real time.
So they're afraid to come to this middle ground that actually I think 90% of well-adjusted adults believe that it's fine if you want to do this and be transgender, go ahead, live your own life, live your best life. But at the same time, don't take this ideology and push it onto kids. I think that's the way most normal people believe. Mm-hmm. Blair White's one of the biggest trans people against children being groomed. Yeah. And so, that's why, like, I mean, I can't really ever ask people that are trans that agree with this to speak out, because I can't even imagine how fucking...
So what about the near 50%? So that is actually kind of bullshit, to be honest. That's not really the rate. So a lot, they'll bring up this thing of like the, was it 40-something% like selfie-secking rate or whatever. They'll say this all the time, but it's ideation. It's not actual, like, committing it. That's the ideation of the I want to do it, basically, of saying that you want to do it.
Being annoying and frustrating and stressful and awful it must be, right? But man, I wish I had more people that came out and agreed with me on this, and actually said that they agreed with me on this. I think there's plenty of people that agree with me on this, but spoke out against it. Because this type of behavior will be detrimental to all of LGBT. And I think that we're already seeing the effects of that right now. Mm-hmm. I'm trans and it's not frustrating, and I agree with you. I know. Like,
is that a defense even? No. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is they bring it up all the time as like you're killing like 40-something% of like trans people, but that's not actually what the stats mean. That's my point, is that it's actually taken completely, it's amped up beyond what it actually means. That's my point.
There's plenty of people that are like that, but that's actually the way that I feel about trans people as a whole. And that's the difference between what she's discussing and what I'm talking about. And so this hate thing and bigotry and all this, we're talking about children here. This is beyond your social worldview.
Mm-hmm.
All any of us want is to live a life of purpose and happiness and wholeness. None of us know how long we have. None of us know how much time we have on this planet. It is already hard enough to raise a family. It is already hard enough to be a kid, and government
it's already hard enough to be a kid, so now let's introduce gender transition and puberty blockers to make it even worse. It's on hard mode. Well, now it's going to be mythic.
Not make it harder.
True.
You're not on New Game, you're on New Game Plus. So yeah, there we go. So make them trans. Yes, exactly. Like, I don't even understand. There's no logic to this at all. It doesn't make sense ever. Never forget, bro. The slogan before was once, we're trans and queer and we're coming for your children. Never forget. I know that there's...
The problem is that the trans community, and by association, the LGBT community as a whole, have basically given up any logical ground that they originally had in anything. They have abandoned all logical positions into like complete crackhead Candyland world where nothing makes sense anymore. And when that happens, you lose a lot of people. You lose a lot of support.
A lot of people that do that, I don't allow myself. I think it's very easy for people to fall into the trap
they
of
had logical
listening.
ground. Yeah, there's logical ground behind it. The logical ground would be kind of libertarian. It would be like, listen, like, if I want to get a tattoo, I should be able to get a tattoo. If I want to get piercings wherever, I should be able to get that. If I want to live my life looking a certain way, then I should be allowed to do that. That would be like the logical ground, right? But once you start going after children, now the logical consistency doesn't work. Thank you, Dante. You can hear the cough drop in my mouth. I know, thank you. Sorry, I'm coughing a lot today.
to what a few mentally ill retards on Twitter think and thinking that they represent the entire LGBT community. I try to avoid falling into that trap myself, although of course I do read the same things that you read, I do see the same things that you see, and I feel basically the same way about it that you feel about it. So it's not like I don't feel this way and I don't think the same thing. It's that I think that you have to overcome and realize that these people are the most outspoken, problematic.
Libertarianism carried to its logical conclusion becomes illogical. I'll think about that. I'm never going to finish the video if I can't do it.
Mentally ill, deranged, perverted weirdos that are in this community that don't necessarily represent the entire community, right? They call detransitioners traitors. Trans activists are the worst. Yeah, it's disgusting. And again, I just kind of healthy body parts of children, as big as medical scandal the world's ever seen. Yeah, and also like I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like it's the same as marijuana. Like this used to be like this is the liberal marijuana issue right now. Is that in the same way that I would say that back in the day, especially like before Donald Trump, marijuana legalization was a big platform around Republicans about making it illegal and stopping people from smoking weed. And what happened is that basically a lot of people were like, well, this is stupid. Why would I vote for people that want to talk about like, oh, yeah, you can't smoke weed because it's against, you know, the Bible or something. And it cost Republicans a lot of votes. And a lot of people didn't agree with Republicans for that reason, because it was such an obvious, ridiculous thing to say that, you know, oh, weed should have you get put in jail. It's crazy. So what's happening, I think, with this is the same exact thing.
I don't think I really agree with that, but it's fine. Like, I get it.
It's basically
I get I have the losing opinion there.
You have a crazy viewpoint that 90% of people think is ridiculous that you continue to push. And I think this is one of the main alienating things that Democrats have. Like
my reasons are like almost purely anecdotal though. So
it's basically like, here's an example. It's like I always use flat Earth as a good frame of reference here, is that if somebody believes in flat Earth, I don't want to hear what their opinion is on anything else, because their mental
but the wall of ice around the world, there's the wall.
Their mental facilities are very clearly damaged. Like whatever decision-making apparatus that they have, however they make decisions, there's something wrong with it because the earth isn't fucking flat and you think it's flat. So I think that this is a great example of the same thing, where as soon as somebody hears the idea of a 9-year-old transitioning, they immediately throw the baby out with the bathwater, and deservedly so. It's such a crazy belief that how could any person who believes this have anything of value to contribute at all to the world? So that's what I would say. Flat earthers are retarded. It's about hollow earth theory. Yes, of course. So opinion ignored, basically. Exactly.
Isn't that where Agartha is? And what's his name? Yakub? Aren't they in the middle of the earth? Atlantis?
And so that one's debatable. Yes, Clementine Breen, that interview with JBP, she was never transgender and her doctor lied. Pretty brave of her to do that interview. Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, is that these people are so violent and so aggressive. What is this here?
Even for Republicans, this is extreme.
Great. Let's hear another stupid, fucking annoying Karen. Like, again, these people need to be out in the swamp selling mushrooms. I don't know
What's wrong with that?
What the fuck happened?
What the fuck's wrong with mushrooms?
All right, what does this retarded swamp hag have to say today?
Even for Republicans, this is extreme. Are we really attempting to lock up parents and doctors?
Yes. I totally agree.
Yep.
Yeah, good idea.
Absolutely.
Kids'
Thanks for asking.
medical care is none of their damn business.
It absolutely is. There are plenty of things that are regulated around children and parents can't opt their children into and children can't consent to.
Uh-huh.
There's dozens of examples of this.
We should call this obsession with your kids. And
these are the same people, by the way, that wanted to force kids to get the COVID vaccine in order to go to school. They don't even believe what they're saying.
It's also the same people that want to take away people's kids if they don't agree with the trans thing. If their kid says that they're trans and then the parent is like, no, we're not going to do that. There's the same people that want the state to take the kids away.
Dang.
So when they say this shit, it's total bullshit. Like none of it is real. It's only self-serving. It's only about power. None of this is real. They don't actually believe this shit.
We're getting in the pediatrician's office what it is. It's creepy. It's a creepy obsession, and we've had to deal
It's a creepy obsession by talking about other people's creepy obsession?
with it for years. The science is clear. Evidence-based, medically necessary care for transgender youth is safe, it's effective, it's supported by every...
If it's not safe, if it's effective, that's even more of an argument for not having it.
Major medical association in the United States, including the American Medical Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics. Even for Republicans,
we need to make swamp hags great again and get them the fuck out of the fucking... Having these people in Congress is so fucking annoying. I hate this shit. We have to listen to these stupid fucking morons spend all day. They're all in on a 90-10 issue. Exactly. They keep using emotional tactics instead of being logical.
It costs a ton of money.
It's crazy.
Them being there, them giving their speeches like this costs us a ton of money.
It's safe and effective. Where have we heard that before? Well, it's also like there are plenty of things that are safe and effective, like getting tattoos that you don't let kids get. Like it doesn't even, that's not even.
Leaf, you're a forest hag, not a swamp hag. I live like in the bayou, though.
In an argument. We're from 14, California. What's this here? They have a private chat with your child at every child well visit. At every well child visit, at 14, they have to have a private chat with your kid. So you talk to the doctors have to talk to the kid privately. I mean, that's... I mean, like, do I agree with that or not? I don't agree with that. I don't think so. I think that it just treats parents like criminals. And yeah, I can see the logic behind it, but I just think that it's just too weird. It's too weird, man. And yeah, exactly. Grooming potential. I don't think it's necessarily grooming potential, but I mean, of course it could be. And I think that, by the way, do I think that doctors and certain people in the medical profession push this shit on kids? Absolutely they do. Duh. If you are an activist, wouldn't you want to go, like, aren't you going to fish where the fish are? Like, we have, this is the same as anything, right? Every single instance where there are children and adults that interact with each other, we have bad things that happen. We do. Whether it's Boy Scouts, church, school, or video games, Roblox, bad things happen. This is just how it is. So we should assume that that's the case. Mm-hmm. And it's not like, and also the only other problem is that, like, these doctors, like, it's not like they're, like, perfect either. So it's this idea like, oh yeah, well, this doctor is going to do the right thing. Not necessarily. Anyway, let me see if there's any more of this that's worth talking about. I already looked at it before. But anyway, I am very, very glad no one should be mad at this. Yeah, absolutely fucking based. Thank God. Oh, she follows me. Look at that. Wow, what a smart girl. And yeah, creepy groomer, 100 fucking %. And I'll see if there's any more of this. If you're wanting to enjoy healthy bodies of children, fuck your suicide self-harm cult. I mean, again, and this is what happens, is it radicalizes people against the entire group. And I actually replied to this myself. I was talking about this myself. Yes, simple money problem. Doctors want to make more money when they get kids on the trans shit. I don't know if it's money. I think in some cases it is. In some cases it's not. But anyway, so I replied to this. I was like, listen, oh, here we go. So trans people already have all the rights as everyone else. So this person thinks it's a right to be able to do a medical procedure as a child, a sex change.
Yeah.
No, kids don't have that right. Like, absolutely not. Like, I don't want kids getting, like, what do you want them getting, like, a BBL or, like, a fucking breast surgery? Absolutely fucking not.
You
like,
want to know how simple this is, by the way? And this is the stupid thing. I always hear this. Well, like, you know, my rights, my rights, my rights. I always hear this shit. They don't have a right to it. You know, you want to know why? It's very simple. Do you know why there is no right to this? At least on a subjective level. Do you want to know why there's no right? You know why? You want to know why you don't have a right to this? Because we fucking say so. That's it.
Who the fuck is Leaflit?
That's all it is. That's what rights are. No, you don't, because we say you don't. What are you talking about?
Is this type of argument?
Because we say so isn't rights? That's subjective rights. They are. That's what subjective rights are. It's the consensus of everybody. That's all it can be. What else could it be? If a thing is a right versus... Where do they come from, Dreadnought? Where do rights come from? Where do subjective rights come from? If it's God-given, it can't be given or taken away. No, it can. It can be Apple Gothic. If it's a God-given right, it can be given or taken away, but God enforces the rights with violence at the very end. That's what objective rights are. They're objective rights because they're grounded around an objective... Like, they're grounded around a unchanging thing, which is God. God is an unchanging thing, right? So the idea behind it, so if you say, I have a right to life given by God, right? That doesn't mean people can't kill you. They kill you, but then God enforces that later at some time and sends them to hell. That's what that is that they're judged by that. And God enforces it via violence at the very, very end. Subjective rights, the ones that are given by man, only exist because we say they do. Otherwise, what could they be? What does it mean? What does any right mean? Other than the consensus of society that we all agree that you should be able to have this right. That's the only thing that it means. Are guns rights? Yes, because we've determined that to be so. Because the founding fathers said that we should have guns. We should have we should have a right to guns. We should have a right to the Second Amendment. And even then, even when that isn't in existence, it's still up to the subjective interpretation of fucking retards in Congress. Is it not? So do you really have a complete a complete comprehensive right to bear arms? No, you don't. Rights I poor. What? Rights are not up. Wait, what do you? I don't know. I don't know what it means. It says rights I portanza because what does that mean? I think people are completely. I don't think people understand rights. If a thing is up to interpretation, then it's. If a thing is up to interpretation, then it is not a right. If a thing is a right, it is not subjective. So then the only rights you have are the ones that come from God then, right? There are no rights on this earth except those enforced by God. That's what you mean, right? That's what I believe. I believe all earthly rights are only given to us by consensus of society. What could it be other than that? The right to make your own choice, the right to protect yourself, the right to make your own choice, the right to protect yourself, the right of your property against theft, natural rights are absolutes per system. Being supported is another discussion. Well, who enforces that? I don't. Who enforces that though? So, like, if you have the right to make your own choice, and then society says that you don't, and then they say, you know what? Actually, we're gonna make a law that makes this a Dreadnought does not have a right to make his own choice, and if he does, we'll kill him. Then what? It's on us to enforce your rights, but then they kill you. Now, where's your rights? Who does anything about that after you're dead? Say you're the only one that believes in that right, and everybody just decide to kill you. Now you have no way to enforce it. And this is kind of a tangent, but this is kind of a big tangent. So we can talk about rights another day. So God doesn't enforce it now? No, God, no, that's different. I'm talking about my definition of rights. I think that rights are purely subjective on what we as a consensus decide to enforce. That's what earthly rights are. But then I think that there are divine rights, which are rights that are granted by God, and those are because God will enforce them on our behalf. The rights that are given to us by God are enforced by God. So God's divine justice will enforce the rights at some point.
Is so fucking retarded. It's insane. Really? Like, yeah, of course you wouldn't let a kid do that. It's fucking disgusting, right? Of course. So why are we letting this happen? They can't even get tattoos. They're talking about losing their rights. Your right to what? You don't have the right to groom a child. You don't have the right to groom children and mutilate their bodies. This isn't a right that straight people have either. The fact that the vote was this close is sick. And so straight is not the opposite of trans. It kind of is, in a way. It kind of is, right? I mean, not necessarily, but kind of. And fine dispute, right to groom children. I don't know, Christians exist? This is the argument. I don't know, Christians exist.
God is above force. God often uses force as something humans can understand, but he's not constrained to force. No, God uses force. God definitely uses force. That's not true. What could it be other than force? There's no, even if you were to say it was like some kind of mind control thing, that would still be force. God absolutely uses force, yeah. I don't think force is bad, by the way. This is like a common thing that people think that force is bad. I don't think it's bad. I think in a lot of cases, force is incredibly based, actually.
Wow.
God uses force both directly and indirectly. Yeah, but it's always force, right? Even if it's indirectly.
There we go, man. And look
like,
at all.
for instance, like a trap is still force, right? You could set a trap that would still be using force.
People regretting their tattoos? Yes, exactly. I'm a doctor in the EU. We don't even talk about this. Our studies have already determined that's a wrong practice. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to come to that conclusion. I think it's pretty fucking obvious, isn't it?
Yep.
I feel like anybody would think that. But at least anybody that has a fucking brain. Mutilate children, puberty blockers, really? Well, yeah, obviously they're going to cause an effect. The same thing cisgender children have. Really, maybe 0.01 kids have had any gender reaffirming surgery. As if it not... So if it doesn't happen a lot, then why are you trying to push for it so hard? If it's so uncommon, then why are you trying to make it as possible? 90% of surgery is done in cisgender boys for gynecomastia, only has a percentage of starter cross-sex hormones. Yes, obviously it's different for somebody to get a surgery for something that is a deformity. This person is viewing a deformity the same as a elective sexual surgery.
Yep.
Yes, deformities are different. Jesus Christ, you are just killing trans kids. Surely. And Christianity is reversible. You can become a Satanist and back and forth. Exactly, yes. You're killing trans kid. I know you're sick, but this is a cause. But we all know this cause you don't. Wait, let me read this again. I think you're sick, but we all know that.
By the way, I just want to be clear about earlier. Sorry, it's just in my mind. I finally was thinking about it. I don't actually believe, you know, when people were saying that that I was confusing it. I don't actually believe in I don't actually believe in rights in terms of societal rights or whatever. I don't really believe in those. I only believe in divine rights. Just to be clear, I only believe in objective rights.
It's because you don't shower? Oh my God.
Thank
and you never beating the chaser allegations. Now I got shadow banned and here you are, you're delusional. This is just such a crazy thing to say. And anyway, I'm very glad to see this happen. Circumcision is illegal.
So might makes right? No, Melker. Might makes. That's it. It's period. Might makes period. Doesn't make right, but it makes everything.
When did I ever advocate for circumcision? Never. And it's nuts. So anyway, we've had a lot of people, no argument, let them insult. Absolutely. No, it's a crazy, crazy way to attack a person.
Because Leaflit also believes in objective universal morality. I think that morality can only be objective if it is divine, if it's sourced. Morality can only be objective if its source is, if the source of the morality is unchanging. Otherwise, it can't be objective by definition. So it has to be rooted in something unchanging. Therefore, it has to be something divine.
And a crazy thing to do. And I'm glad to see Elon. Yeah, Elon agrees with this. Obviously, he agrees with this. It's fucking... I mean, any normal person agrees with this. The only people that don't are people that have some degree of fucking mental disorder, right?
Sorry, I want to talk about this because I actually like talking about that stuff. But then... I'm gonna. This is already a long video, and I'm gonna tangent like all the way to fucking Agartha.
And what's the chaser? Who knows? Who cares? But anyway,
we're gonna go on the world tour. We're gonna hit up Agartha, Atlantis, and Wakanda at this point. So I got.
Yeah, I saw this happen yesterday, and I do feel like more people should speak out against this because of how ridiculous it is. Trans women are not women. What is this?
Is it a sin if you have gender dysphoria as a mental disorder, but choose not to act on it? No, I mean, it's not a sin. You're fighting against your flesh, man. And that's what God is asking us to do, right? This is the good fight. We have to fight against your flesh, and it's not easy. And then there are people who are actually truly creeps. They try to be transgender so they can get in women's sports and bathrooms. Sure. Genuinely, this topic, it is irritating. And I'm not saying all transgender people, but the loud people like Yara, they're misogynist 100% because how can you tell me you know what a woman is, but you're inserting yourself, biologically a man, into this? You have no idea what I go through as a woman and vice versa. So stop trying to erase me.
It's obviously true that being trans is not the same as being a biological woman. Anybody...
And that's my point, is that it's different and there's nothing wrong with that difference, but trying to say it's the same thing is retarded. That's been my point the whole time.
Thinks that that's true is out of their mind. Anyone opposing this should have their heart.
You know, Apple Gothic, thanks for the bits. I think some might be expecting God uses force to be a divine intervention type of situation now that justice karma comes in the end. I suppose so, yeah.
Hard drives checked. Thank God.
Today's revenue for sex-rejecting drugs and surgeries in 2023.
I hate to say it, but I think his voice is actually getting better. It's like probably 20% better than it was.
Were estimated in one study to exceed $4.4 billion and on track to exceed $7.8 billion by 2030. One doctor was recorded callously describing sex-rejecting procedures as a big moneymaker.
I bet they are.
Hospitals rake in millions of dollars by convincing boys and girls that a lifetime of off-label prescriptions for estrogen and testosterone blockers, chest reconstruction surgeries, and more are the only way to achieve true happiness and belonging in life. It's wrong. Right. The Trump administration will not stand by while ideology, misinformation, and propaganda push vulnerable young people into decisions they cannot fully understand.
Exactly.
And that they can never reverse.
Unironically based, I feel like RFK is he's my favorite member of the Trump administration. He is.
He's pretty good.
Maybe Stephen Miller. It's one or the other. Those are the two guys. But I really think, I mean, this guy's really putting in work. He's doing a lot. And I'm glad to see that. Common sense, guys? Yes, exactly. Ban the ideology? No, I think it's fine if you want to be trans. Just do it whenever you're an adult. That's all. Do it when you're an adult, and that's it. And oh, God, to all the new people in New York.
Hello, everyone. It's Tish James. I want to speak directly to the transgender community, especially to our young people and their families who count on gender-affirming care.
Yeah.
I know this latest proposal from this administration to cut access to gender-affirming care for many youth is frightening. Whether you live in Brooklyn, Binghamton, Buffalo, or anywhere else in New York.
Frightening. It's all emotion, as usual.
And even if you don't live in New York, I will not let this administration come for you, your doctors, or your life-saving health care. As of now, nothing has changed. Your health care is still legal and protected. And your doctors cannot cut off your access to gender-affirming care based on the administration's reckless proposal.
Not yet. Not yet.
And most importantly, I want you to know.
See, there has to be consequences for people that push this shit on kids. There does. There has to be retroactive consequences. We gotta put these people in jail, something like that.
That you're
I
not
don't know
alone.
about that. I don't know about retroactive.
I'm right here with you. And I'm
I don't know how I feel about retroactive consequences because once you, oh man, once that Pandora's box is open, holy fuck, man, like obviously I don't agree with the all the stuff happening with kids, but retroactive consequences would be like, if they ever get in power, now they can just retroactively arrest anybody that spoke out against them. Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
sending love to each and every one of you.
Y'all gonna be in prison together.
So please, stay strong, my friends, and enjoy the holiday.
It's gonna get a lot worse. If I got anything to say about it, it's gonna get way worse. This weird fixation around grooming kids, mutilating them, convincing them to take drugs that will change their body before they've even gone through puberty.
Thanks, Bonkinator too, by the way, for the sub. Thank you. Thanks for the follows, everyone. Thank you.
Take drugs that will change their body before they've even gone through puberty. Has to stop. It's got to stop. When they were claiming whenever this wasn't happening, yeah, they were saying it wasn't happening, and now it is happening. And what a big surprise. And yeah, I'll look at maybe a couple others, and then I feel like we've kind of gone over this, and then we'll look at some other stuff.
Thank you, Dr. Oz. One of the most barbaric features of a society is the genital mutilation of its children. It's based on a medical dogma, sadly, that the normal, sometimes stressful experiences of boys and...
Can we do child murder next? I feel like that one's kind of worse. You think we can get to that one next? That'd be kind of cool.
Girls growing up is a
like mass child murder. Man.
Pathology that requires medical intervention.
True.
Parents are told if they don't agree to these disfiguring and permanently sterilizing procedures, they're putting their child at increased risk of suicide, a baseless claim that has never been supported with good data.
Yep.
Let's be honest. And I'm going to say what you're not supposed to say. Pushing transgender ideology in children is predatory, it's wrong, and it needs to stop.
Oh, yes.
I agree.
Yes.
This ideology is a belief system that some teachers, some pediatricians, and others are selling
it's about
to
time.
children.
Yes, thank God.
Without their parents knowing sometimes, or with a deliberate attempt to remove...
And you know for a fact. Also, Ludicode, and thank you for the bits. I think we should bring back the practice of binding... What the fuck, Ludicode? No, we should not. We should not bring that back. Thank you for the bits, though. The thing is here's the funny thing is, a lot of them will get really mad at people like me who think that this is obviously a huge W, but at the same time, I'm okay with trans adults doing what they want, as long as it doesn't affect like the rest of society, obviously, right? Like there has to be some balance there. And I'll be literally the worst. They'll be like, I'm literally the worst, right? So it's like
parents.
They think of everyone in society.
Yep.
There's no way.
Puberty can be stressful, and for all of history, being a kid and interacting with kids from...
That's true. I remember one time I shaved my balls in like 6th or 7th grade, and I couldn't wear underwear for like a month because of how uncomfortable it was. Oh my God, bro, I'll never forget that.
Fuck?
Oh shit, yeah. Tell you that.
The opposite gender can be awkward.
What the fuck?
Even confusing at times.
being real.
But to see now...
That's what it was.
A society putting kids on a path of chest binders, drugs, castration, mastectomies, and other procedures is a...
We should look at this the same way that we look at those weird countries around the world that do different forms of female genital mutilation.
Yep.
This is basically the same thing.
Don't they
it's just a different...
Don't they like cut like in Africa? Don't they like cut off your clit? Isn't that what they do? They cut it off, right? What the fuck?
Different version of it.
Path that now many kids regret. And
circumcision. I don't have an opinion on circumcision. I don't think it's good or bad. I'm circumcised. I mean, if I wasn't, then I wouldn't be. I mean, I just don't have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I've got to say, your testimony in front of the Hill was one of the best descriptions.
Asmon Jewish confirmed.
I've heard on this issue.
I mean, I do think that a circumcised dick does look better. I do.
Wait,
like
really?
an
Wait, what? Asmon gay.
Circumcised dick looks like Gravemind from Halo 2.
What the fuck is this?
Or you know, like those things in Elden Ring where they're like drooped over and they have like the death curse? It's kind of like that. I think it looks disgusting. Or like the two fingers kind of in a way. Like I don't think it really looks good. But like, I mean, I'm not making an argument for circumcision. I'm just saying that, you know, it is what it is.
Wait, why do they do?
Guys,
why? I don't even know why they do that. Like, why do they do that? I don't get it. Like, what's the point? It's just like a religion thing. Is that like? Hold on. Is that actually in the Bible? Like, does God say that? Wait, really? I gotta look into that. That's pretty wild.
Look. I'm not wrong. Yeah, I'm not wrong about this. What was everybody getting bent out of shape for? It's just true.
Issue ever. Maybe one of the best descriptions.
Look how big it is.
Any topic ever presented in front of Congress. It's an honor to be here with you.
I've seen a lot of dicks.
Let me be clear about something, and this is an important distinction. Sometimes it doesn't get mentioned.
I have.
Wait, what? What the fuck?
We're not talking about medically treating kids with a biological basis for.
Is he counting like hentai?
Differences in sexual development. What used to be called intersex. We're not talking about children with 5-alpha reductase deficiency, Klinefelter.
Well, this is
I thought that they looked like. Hold on, guys. I thought dicks looked like this. Like, I thought that dicks look like this. Is that not true? They don't look like that? I've been fucking lied to. I've been lied to.
Problem is that, I mean, they're trying to conflate medical deformities with a ideological perspective.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought missing no was like, you know how in Disney, like old Disney, they used to put like sexual stuff in their art. I thought that missing no was just that for penises.
Fundamentally very different things. It's not even remotely close. Can someone explain to me why it's wrong for the Nazis to mutilate sterilized children, but the left claim it's fine and humane not to do so? Nothing about this has to do with the Nazis. I'm going to be honest.
Syndrome, Turner syndrome, or other sex chromosome abnormalities. We're talking about an ideology that is supported by flawed science that every child as young as 4 years of age should pick from an array of genders.
Array. An array.
High schools now where half the kids don't identify as a boy or girl. What's going on?
It's like picking your hair in an MMO. There's like going to be a gender slider, you know?
I'll tell you what's going on in those high schools. There is some beneficial advantage that the school administration has. Like, for example, maybe you can go to a special bathroom. Maybe you have you can go to the nurse more often, so you can leave class more often. Like, I remember when on 9/11, when 9/11 happened, I told them that I was a Christian and I believed in God because I did not. but I said this so I could go out and hold hands with people and pray around the flagpole because I didn't want to go to English class. Straight up. Like, that's the reason why kids are doing it. ABC, bro, I'm always on top of it, man. Always. Always. It's awful ABC. But funny. Welcome to my life.
To American hospitals and clinics.
I always thought it was super rich whenever these people were like, look at how many kids are protesting. I was like, what do you mean? All the kids, look at how many kids are outside protesting, refusing to go to class to join the protest. I'm like, bitch, I do that for free. I do that for free so I could play Four Swords with my friends. Obviously.
Do not ask parents to leave the room in order to sell your transgender ideology to America's children.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more that I think the idea of like giving a doctor time alone with a kid is probably a bad thing. Like, and I don't really like. I can see why they're doing it. I understand why.
You shouldn't trust that.
It's because like if the kid is being abused or something like that's going to happen, maybe the kid would be more likely to say something. If it wasn't for the parent, right, or something like that. Yeah.
Well, it also goes the other way though, right? So you can have like a private, doctor or whatever, basically telling the kid like. Especially when they're younger. Like, this works a lot more on younger kids where you're like, you're abused, aren't you? Because your parent did this, right? And it's like they can like kind of fuck with their head and stuff, right? It can happen that way too.
But I think the problem is that there's an implicit expectation that the doctor is acting in good faith.
Yes,
and
exactly.
There isn't a problem with the doctor also. And I think that in a case where the government is making a decision for what a person's life should be, you have to have like a very high rate of like not having bad actors.
It would need to be filmed, I think. It would need to be filmed. Yeah, it would need to be filmed.
About two separate doctors. I mean, I don't think that's really going to make a difference if you want me to be honest. Doctors aren't cops.
Filmed with no cuts.
And I think you're right, is that it's also, and this is another big issue that I feel like we don't really talk about enough, is that there is I think an emotional and a mental drain that's on some of these first responders, on some of these people that have these essential jobs, like police officers, doctors, nurses, EMS, firefighters, like adding in another piece of, to their Swiss Army knife job, I think is overwhelming for them. Like, yeah, they're not police officers. They're not investigators. They're not psychologists. They're a pediatrician. Let them deal with medical things and let somebody else make that decisions instead. A lot of doctors are not bad. The overwhelming majority of doctors are saints. They're the best people ever. Like, I've never met a bad doctor in my life.
This is like a human nature thing where obviously a lot of them are, but you have to understand that the small percentage of bad actors, they will take advantage of this at the highest level.
And I think most people probably feel that way. Same with first responders. They're heroes.
It's the same thing with video games, right? Not like most players aren't cheaters. But then like that small percentage of cheaters fuck shit up for everybody. And now we have easy anti-cheat. Now they're like, you know what, guys? I think we're going to need kernel access to your computer. I think we're going to need that. I think we're going to need secure boot on. And we're going to need to install this software on your thing that reads literally everything on your computer. And this is all because of a small percentage of fucking assholes. Everybody knows this is true. Because do I deserve to have a fucking anti-cheat on my computer? Not really. I don't cheat.
But at the same time, so are parents. Most parents aren't bad either. Like, what are we talking about? Like, most parents, debatable? I'm talking about my experience, right? That's it. It's my experience. Dr. S, do you want to see pee-pee? No, I don't know about that. That's a bit much, man. It's a little bit weird. You get trained on how to talk to these people, and if a child gets Baker acted at my hospital, they have a day where they could draw their favorite pride flags. Oh, my God. Yeah, this shit's got to stop.
You know what we really need, though, chat? We need, like, one of those AIs that just observes the entire game, like an AI judge that observes the game and then catches cheaters. But then, like, it would need to catch it at a high level of scrutiny.
Bro, like, it's gotta stop.
Well, what was the last thing?
As parents, debatable. I mean, I'm talking about my experience, right? That's it. It's my experience. Doctor asked, do you want to see pee-pee? No, I don't know about that. That's a bit much, man. It's a little bit weird. You get trained on how to talk to these people, and if a child gets Baker acted at my hospital, they have a day where they could draw their favorite pride flags. Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this shit's gotta stop, bro. Like,
That's crazy.
It's gotta stop.
Holy shit. Man. Hex says, thank you for the bits, Hex. Filming would violate HIPAA. Most medical labs don't even allow security cameras. Well, no, it would be specifically in the case with of parents, of doctors talking to kids without their parents being there. It would be specifically for that. That's what it would have to be for. If we're gonna have a system in which the doctors can talk to the kids alone, we would need that just to make sure there's no coercion going on. And thank you for the bits, Hex. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Another good video by Asmongold, and I agree with like almost everything he said. 99%. I'll link you guys the video. Asmongold always with the good takes. I really like it. I almost entirely agree with Asmongold. Obviously, I have a couple things I don't agree with him on, but I mean, who agrees with everyone 100%? You'd have to be a fucking leftist to do that.